Welcome to Zagreb. Welcome to NEM.
Vala.
Molim. What time did you arrive? You arrived yesterday or today?
Yesterday evening, yeah, 6 o'clock. Yeah.
Hopefully you'll have enough time to go a bit sightseeing. We have a Christmas market here. It's very lively. It's crowded actually.
I'm looking forward to maybe doing a bit of ice skating actually.
Seriously?
Yeah. I think
Do
so.
people? You said 6'2". Do people skate when they're 6'2"?
Yeah. I skate, we ski, we walk. It's incredible.
You have a huge health insurance, life insurance?
Yeah, I'm going to try and break the other leg today. I've already broken one leg. I'll try and break the other one.
Okay, let's talk business. You're going to take part in a panel that is going to be talking about British TV, creativity, the industry. How difficult is it, in your opinion, to entertain the audiences today?
Well, it's getting harder. I think there's a school of thought that there's only a finite amount of stories to be told, and there's different ways of telling them, and you just have to find these different ways of telling them. Mm-hmm. And I guess I kind of adhere to that and believe that in a kind of way. But I think it's an exciting time because there's a lot more platforms, a lot more opportunity for people to choose. People have a lot more choice, and I think that that can only be good for the consumer and for the viewer, and I think it's good because it's good competition. I think everybody needs to pull and is pulling their weight and pulling their bootstrings up, and and trying to find better and better content, and that can only be good for the viewer.
Mm-hmm. In terms of British creativity, the boldness, what do you think makes British TV so good and so different?
Well, I think it's because we're quite unique, really. I guess we have a sort of, there's that sort of I guess what you would call the sense of humour, the British sense of humour. We have a sort of different way of seeing things. We don't take it too seriously. Try and find something unique and interesting, but also the production values, I think. Especially with our networks, they're having to fight, and they sell their content all over the world. And like I said, with the new platforms, it's much easier for the rest of the world to see this content as well, yes, and value the British sense of production values. I don't think it's intrinsically British or only British, but it's something that we've done, for 60, 70 years. So, so I think it's something that we excel at, and also it's it's one of our best exports, really. I guess in the days of old we used to export trains and heavy metals, and now we don't do any of that. We do good TV, and movies and
very good TV,
arts.
Very good arts in general. Let's talk about Sanditon, which you're going to be promoting here in Zagreb. Sure. Unfortunately, the Croatian audience hasn't seen the show legally, but we're not going to be arresting anyone later on. Okay. What makes the show different? What do you like the most about the show? I like the scenery. I've seen the trailers.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that what to me is unique about the show is that it's a Jane Austen, and yet it's not, because she only wrote 11 chapters before she died. So she wrote the outline of the book. Introduced us to the main characters, and then expired. So, for want of a better word, so what she left was obviously a huge body of work, but and a sort of taster of what might be a bit of a new book for her. I think the country was changing. We'd just been through. The Georgian period, which was very successful, but involved slavery, and now we were moving into a more free period. We'd just been through a war. There was a great austerity, national debt. I mean, it's kind of like today, but without the war, obviously. But but the country was becoming a lot more free and a lot more sort of it wasn't Victorian; it was pre-Victorian, so it was becoming a lot more fun, and this was the beginning of the sort of British Empire, really, and all the great technological advances that happened in the 19th century. So I think she was writing about that and beginning to write about that, and so I think what Andrew Davies has done is he's taken the story and imagined it in his own way, how she would have written it given the time she was living in. And so I think what you find is a different Jane Austen. I guess some traditionalists would be a bit shocked by the content. But, you know, Regency period in England was quite sexy. You know? So, you know, and quite a sort of free period where people wore amazing costumes and outfits, and there was great architecture. You know, you had John Nash, great historical architecture in the Regency period and late Georgian period. And so I think it's a new Jane Austen. In a way. It's a sort of slicker in a way, but also less formal. So I think it's interesting.
How challenging was it for you personally with the costumes? It is different from what you've usually done.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I am used. I have done costume drama before. It's been a long time. You know, it's probably been about 15 years since I've pulled on a pair of breeches. But I could still get in them,
which is good.
They were tight. The costumes were tight. It's kind of strange because I've often been the youngest or one of the youngest people on a show or on a production. And now I'm becoming the sort of
most experienced.
Well,
don't say
most,
older.
Yeah.
Most experienced.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, most experienced. Yeah. Oldest. Yeah, no. The most experienced. That's a great way of putting it. So it's a sort of different dynamic for me now, and it's
expectations.
It's enjoyable. Well, yeah, but also, you know, I still want to be able to pull on a decent Georgian costume and look half decent in it. So.
Well, you do. As I said, I've seen the trailers.
Yeah.
You look great, and as I said, you're very tall, which is always a big plus in my book.
Well, of course. Well, it's great to be taught. I mean, do you bang your head a lot? I bang my head a lot.
Yeah, I used to.
Yeah.
Now I just do this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's interesting about Sanditon actually is that it was a very tall cast. We're all pretty much plus 6 foot, which is good.
Which is why I'm going to be your biggest fan once the show comes in Croatia.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Love to meet you.
You too.
Vala.